Hi everyone, it's Autumn again, and I'm here talking about my backstory. Well, how I got to where I am, what things I've been through. Um, so my name is Autumn, and I'm 23 years old, soon to be 24 here in August. I was born in 1989, so I'm young. A lot of people don't think that I look. I think I look a lot older than I am, which I don't really like, but whatever. Um, I live in Washington State. I live in a city called Gig Harbor. It's really a beautiful maritime town, so we have a lot of sailing and boating and a lot of active people. And I've lived here my whole life, so there was two brief times for a year that I moved to a city that was just about 20 minutes away, which is Tacoma. It's a city, more city like. So when I was around 8 years old, I lived in Tacoma, and then I just moved back from Tacoma area um, in March of 2013. I moved back here to Gig Harbor. So me and my fiance decided we wanted to come back here because the town is nicer and just it's home, you know. I mean, not for him, but it is for me. So, anyways, want to see little Chloe's here. She's my little new kitten. She's 2.5 months old. She's running around here. um, so I was born. I was a small baby when I was born. I was either 7 pounds 1 ounce or 7 pounds 11 ounces. I'm not sure which one. Um, but I was a heavy kid growing up. So when I started preschool and kindergarten. I was bigger than the other kids. I wasn't too much bigger, but I was, you could tell that I was a little bit bigger than the other kids. So I went through, preschool, kindergarten, and first grade. And then second grade, it was either the end of first grade, we moved to Tacoma. So I was about 7 or 8 years old. Um, we had to move in with a family member, my aunt. And I don't know the reasoning for that. I don't know if we were just in a bad situation. I'm not sure. And so I was 7 or 8 years old, and we're living in a house that has, I think, 3 families in one house. It was a 3-story house, but each level had a different family in it, and it was busy. There's a lot of people in there. Um, so during this time, me and my mom and her boyfriend at the time, we were living in the basement part of the house, and my aunt and her husband and her son, which is my cousin, were living on the main floor, and then on the top floor was my aunt and her boyfriend, and she might have been expecting during that time. So we were full. Um, we During this time period, um, I her husband worked. My aunt that lived on the main floor, her husband had worked in security type. I'm not sure exactly what his job title was, but so he would work the night shift. And me, I I was 8 years old, and I had to go to the bathroom during the night, and there was not a bathroom on our floor, so I had to go upstairs. And he would always be up watching TV or playing video games or whatever he was doing. And no, I don't know why. I always drink water before I went to bed, so I would go up there in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom. Well, I don't know what happened, but he started molesting me. So, this was like over a 2 or 3 month period of time that this happened, pretty much every night. So it kind of led me to a really traumatic experience in my life. Still, you know, just it's really hard. If you've been molested, especially when you're a kid, it's changes your whole life. Like I immediately, my childhood was gone, and it was really hard. Um, so he went to jail. Well, anyways, it went for a while before anyone found out. I started wetting the bed and showing signs and symptoms. Like I was being abusive to my mom when she was pregnant. I was 8 years old. I didn't know how to express myself like I should. I didn't know what happened to me. I didn't know what sex was. I didn't know what any of it was, you know? So, my mom saw these, and so she took me to counseling, and I think it was the first session of counseling. Oh, and that was another thing. I was like taking food from the kitchen. I was like hiding it in my room, like gorging on this food. And that's when I started to really like pack on the weight, was during this traumatic experience. So, um, and during this time, my mom was pregnant with my brother, who is 8 years younger than me. So it was really hard for her. And God bless her. I love her so much, but I feel horrible about what I put her through. So she took me to counseling because she just didn't know what to do with me, for me, whatever she didn't know. So it was the first time I went to counseling, and it all came out. Like him molesting me and what he did to me. I was telling the counselor, and so I think immediately after that they called the cops and he went to jail. Um, so I'm trying to heal from this as a kid. You know, I have a new brother in the family. My mom, you know, she's trying to deal with me and getting me help from the mental issues that I had to go through. It really messes with your mind. So all the way, and I was still having this problem with food, you know. It's weird how it happened. So, um, so I'm packing on this weight, and I remember going to the doctors, and every time I would get on the scale, I would gain this massive amount of weight. And my mom, like, she put me on diets, and you know, she's thin. My mom is the only thin person in my family, besides, like, the kids, my cousins and everything, but between all of her sisters and everything, she's the smallest one. And she home cooked meals. We didn't go out to eat a lot or anything, but I would sneak this food. And it was my way at the time when I was a kid to self-medicate. And and you know, I started packing on the pounds. I was probably, gosh, maybe when I was 10. I remember in the 5th grade I was heavy. I know in 5th grade I started wearing the same size clothes my mom did, and she was like a large, extra large, maybe between a medium and a large. And I remember going into the adult women's section in the Kmart, and I couldn't buy clothes in like the kids area, and so I had to start buying like what I call old lady clothes, just because they were in like the mature women's section, the stuff that my mom would wear. Like me and my mom during that time would be between the 5th and the 6th grade, we'd be wearing the same clothes, each other's clothes, and when you're a kid, that hurts. That's horrible. You don't want to feel that way at all. And so, you know, even through all this, um, you know, we exercised and we went to the park, and she would cook healthy meals, and I still, you know, had this battle with food. The rest of my family, you know, they would treat me, and I would sneak food and overeat. And so it started this cycle, and I just kept on gaining weight. Um, I think I was maybe, and I was like 13, 12 or 13 when I hit the 200 mark. And it just seemed like every 5 years after that I hit another 100 mark.